Hey, it's Rachel, your go-to encourager and coach. I know you love our podcast talks, but imagine taking that connection to the next level in person. I'm more than a clarity coach. I'm someone who's been in the trenches, juggling all the things. I get it. I've danced with chaos, overloaded schedules, and the struggle to prioritize self-care. But I found the rhythm. And I've got the strategies to help your ladies create some breathing room. So if you're organizing an event, whether it's a conference, church gathering, or retreat, and you want a speaker who brings humor, real talk, and a dose of inspiration, I'm your girl. Let's chat about making your event a memorable one. Visit racheldbaker.com/speaking. That's racheldbaker.com/speaking. I can't wait to connect. You're listening to the podcast where we ask, how's all that working for you? Because sometimes all you need to change your life is a moment of reflection. In this space, we are done with sugarcoating. We embrace keeping it real. I'm your host, Rachel D. Baker, guiding you on this journey to create some breathing room, set healthy boundaries, and reclaim your time guilt-free. This is Real Talk with a bit of sass, and we are always seeking the truth in God's Word. Welcome to this week's episode. I'm so excited for the interview we have today. We're going to talk with Jennifer Renee Watson today. She has been on my wish list for a little bit, and she has a new book out that we're going to talk about. But I have a lot of reasons. We'll get into it later, but a lot of reasons why I feel like we are kindred spirits. So we will get into that as the conversation goes on. But first, just in case you don't know anything about her, you will by the end of this episode. Here's what you need to know going in. Jennifer Renee Watson is a fierce advocate for mental health and abuse survivors who are bravely healing from unresolved trauma and finding their voice. Jennifer learned how to unpack a lifetime of baggage in the spotlight of leadership, bless her, and found out that outing her brokenness opened more doors than faking perfection ever did. She's the author of Freedom, The Gutsy Pursuit of Breakthrough and the Life Beyond It, and her latest book, What If You're Doing Better Than You Think? Finding Courage and Confidence When Life is Messy. Does that not speak to our hearts here? I'm so excited for this. She also co-hosts the popular More Than Small Talk podcast with our beloved Holly Girth and Suzanne Eller. And she's been in ministry for 24 years. She served in various leadership roles in the church. Jennifer, I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me in that sweet intro. Thank you.
Well, I think the best way to sum up how I knew we were kindred spirits. So I listen to your podcast with Holly. We've had her here. I love her. Got to have coffee with her at one point, because we're all in Arkansas. Don't know if you knew.
No, I didn't know.
I'm like maybe 3 hours from you. So if you want to meet up for coffee sometime, we can have that conversation.
Oh, we will.
But I listen to the podcast, and I think Susie and Holly are like very calm, sweet spirits, voices. They kind of calm me.
Yeah.
And not that you are not, but girl, you got a little more of my sass.
I have some sass.
We got some sass, and we've got like the Southern spirit as well. And so I have to tell you, I have it highlighted because I thought it was so great. In your book, Freedom, which was your first one, this line, and I shared it with a friend, and she was like, oh yeah, no, y'all should be besties. You're talking about, how God is more than enough. And if real love is unconditional, why on earth are we working so hard to earn it? This is the line, though, that could have come out of my face. Do we want to be everything for our family and friends? Yes. But can we? Girl, you are not Jesus.
Right?
And that just speaks to my soul.
Yeah.
Just the way that you write, the way that you communicate your thoughts, your love and compassion for others is it's a precious thing to me that I relate to. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
So we're going to jump in so that you can talk to us about your heart behind this newest book, especially. But before we get in too deep, I got to ask you what I ask all my people. What does breathing room look like or feel like for you?
Breathing room looks like no pressure, like outside pressure from others, but mostly the inside pressure that we put on ourselves
Mm,
to tell us that we need to do more. So really it's really chill. It's a chill space of just going, you know what? I'm just going to be here and do nothing and be fully okay with that. That's breathing room for me.
yes, that's the piece we talk about a lot here of having that space and time guilt free.
Yes.
I love that. Such an important part because you can create time for yourself. You can take
Yeah.
time out and it still could feel selfish or you feel guilty for
Yeah.
having it. So I do think that's important. Awesome. Okay, so your newest book that just came out, which also has a lot of highlighting in my copy, by the way. What if you're doing better than you think? Finding courage and confidence when life gets messy. And I know from reading it and hearing you talk about it, this comes from a really personal place.
It does. Yeah.
So, can you share kind of what encouraged you to focus so much of your work on women's healing, especially like mental health and abuse, that area?
I mean, really, it is so personal for me because I've experienced it, all sides of things that we really don't like to talk about, but like, probably neglect, emotional support, abuse. Like I've experienced all of it. And
Mm,
for a long time, I concealed it to protect the person that was harming me. And then I realized I didn't have to do that. So writing this was like the craziest thing because my world had basically imploded. I had tried to write this book multiple times throughout 2 years and just life was crazy and messy. So I set it aside and then like I literally turned in my laptop. I had to resign my job that I absolutely loved.
hmm
My relationship was falling apart. My daughter had just gotten in this accident. And as I turned in all of my keys and all of my things, I was driving home and got the news from my agent that got the book deal. And I was like, this is absolutely the worst time, in my life.
Wait, maybe not now.
Yeah, and so I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna get to write on the other side of this. I'm gonna have to be in the messy middle of my story and write through it." And it was hard
Mm,
because I had to be, gosh, a level of vulnerable that I probably was terrified of, but I know it produced the best work that I possibly could have. I think that if life was cushy, or, I just think I needed to be in the messy season to talk about abuse and mental health from a very honest and broken space.
mm,
That's why I do it because I feel like in this world it's not getting easier. We have a lot going on. And so it's mental health is always going to be something that we need to take care of.
hmm
And instead of pushing it aside or making ourselves feel horrible about it, we've got to prioritize our mental health. Period.
That's so interesting for me to hear you speak of it that way because I got that sense all throughout reading the book. I could tell it was from more of a raw and not like an unhealthy ick. Some people like want to share their story and it's fully no healing happening and it comes across a little more, I don't know, gross. Is that an okay word to use?
Yeah, it is.
And so I do think you wrote this, it sounds like more from the other side, but to hear you say like still being in the middle of it. And that's also encouraging to me because I am in a season, girl, like health things and teenagers, one with autism, and like there's just a lot.
Yeah.
And I find myself in that place a lot of times of like, I can't even show up on social, right? I don't want to do another. Who am I to speak
Yeah.
and encourage when things feel so hard?
Right. Right.
And so it's interesting for me to read through that and hear a different perspective
Yeah.
instead of like, well, you need to be healed and on the other side before you can talk and share. But that doesn't sit with me.
Yeah.
That's not the vibe of coming together as God's church, right?
Right. Well, and I think that we want to tie everything up in a pretty little bow, and there's no bow. And it's
Right.
nothing pretty.
Where is the bow?
Where's the dang bow? I mean, there's nothing to to pretty up like heartbreak and devastation and trouble with our children. And, like in the trenches of real life every day, I was like, I can't make this cute. It's not cute.
Yeah.
It's painful, it's raw, it's everything that I never want anybody else to experience, but I was in the trenches and thought, I can either be brave or I can try to keep finding the bow.
Crawl in a hole and wait for it all to get better, easier, prettier.
Exactly.
Yeah, which never comes. Yeah. And so with that, I think I go one of two ways when I do get in that mindset of, just sitting your hole and wait till it gets better. Everything is too
Yeah.
hard. It's too much. Do I have capacity for any of this? Or I will do the thing that I tell everyone not to do, and I will should all over myself.
Yes.
And I say people are probably tired of hearing it, but when you should all over yourself, it stinks.
It does.
There's not a nicer way to say that. And so between that constant struggle of what we should do and then those feelings of shame,
Yeah.
that can come with sitting in our hole,
Yeah.
it can be really hard for us to kind of slow down, come to terms with, do the things that are needed.
Yeah.
But why? Because I know you feel this. Why is that slowing down piece so necessary?
So this is kind of what I've found like with mental health. Depression tells us that we're not enough,
Mhm.
and anxiety tells us we're not doing enough. So that's why we don't like the pause. We feel guilty for the pause.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely insane, but it's just that's the common thread. Like we feel like we have to try harder, do more. But being still and feeling your feelings and letting it hurt without distracting yourself from it, that's the power move. I mean, hard because it's easy to shut down. It's easy to numb out. I mean, I'm really good at all of that. You can distract yourself with Netflix and food and, all the things.
Yep.
Sitting in it, now that's powerful.
Yeah. And it's not something we would consider typically to be powerful.
No.
It doesn't feel that.
No, I was like, why is that even coming out of my mouth? But it's true because, it's just almost like trading that word painful for powerful. Like, God, what do you want to do with this? What do you want to do with the mess? Because it can't be for nothing,
Mhm.
you know?
Yes. And he does. He always does something with it.
Mhm.
That's my biggest thing looking back on things. I'm like, how in the world out of this garbage can anything? And he always does it
Always.
every time. It's the wildest thing,
Yeah.
but I'm so thankful. Let's take a quick pause because I need to tell you about a free gift I created just for you. If you've been feeling like you need a minute to catch your breath, hear from God, and remember who you are outside of all this chaos, this is for you. It's a printable permission slip. Yes, an actual fill-in-the-blank reminder that you're allowed to rest, reflect, and realign with what really matters. When you download it, you get 4 designs of beautiful fill-in-the-blank permission slips and 20 permission slip ideas to get you started. You do not need the world's permission to step into your purpose, but sometimes it helps to see it in writing. So go grab yours today. Just click the link in the show notes or head over to racheldbaker.com to sign up and download your free copy. Now back to our episode. So I know I have one of two modes when I hit seasons like this or periods of life that are extra hard where, the healing is hard. The sitting in it is hard.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the uncomfortable position when I do sit with a coaching client and say, so how's all that working for you?
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah.
moment of curiosity. It doesn't feel great.
Mhm.
It is helpful. It is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
So, but I know I go one of two directions. Either I sit back and don't want to deal with things and I like the food and the shows and the numbing, or I can go into hyper productivity mode and just everybody get out of my way. I have
Yeah.
got this. It's a control thing, right?
Yeah.
Instead of doing that healing. And I love in chapter 3 of your book, I wrote it down, girl. So you say in chapter 3, a burden lifts when you realize you are not what you produce and you are not in charge of making everyone happy.
Mm.
And I literally read that to my 17-year-old daughter the other day, and she went, "Ooh, that's good." So, we're trying to change
Yeah.
the legacy as we raise our children, right? But just that quote in mind, those thoughts in mind, what steps do you think we can take to be sure we're on that path to healing and not doing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like you said, it's easy to go into hyper productivity and distract ourselves. And it's because we want to be enough for our goal. Like we want to be enough for our jobs, our roles, all of the things for our kids. But like something powerful happens when we release our death grip on making people happy because we're just not going to.
Mhm,
And so I think when we're measuring ourselves based on how other people are treating us or responding to us, we're always like we're going to tank because our self-worth is based on how what they're showing us.
mhm,
They're not our mirror. So making other people happy has to be taken off the table. It's just not going to happen.
mhm. And it feels so hard.
It feels hard, but it's okay for us to go, that's not my job.
Mhm,
My, therapist, she'd be like, "That's above my pay grade. That's above your pay grade." And I'm like, "Okay." Meaning it's impossible
mhm.
to please everybody in our lives, you know? And so
Yes.
that's what we're going for. We're always gonna be spinning our wheels and going nowhere.
Mhm. So, with that in mind, because I know early on in my journey, listen, therapy for everyone, please and thank you.
Yeah,
I'm so I mean, don't always love, but I'm so thankful for the therapy I've done and still doing trauma work. Girl, that is no joke.
it's no joke.
No joke. It's a whole vibe. But for those who have always done the people pleasing,
Yeah,
and not even just people pleasing, but I want my people to be okay. I
yeah,
want my people to be happy. And so trying to feed into that,
yeah.
which is actually unrealistic,
Right, right.
what do we focus on instead?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? I think it's even like just some practical steps is maybe doing is this above my pay grade?
Mhm.
Is this what God's asking from me, or is this something that I'm wanting to control and micromanage? And where you're just trying to predict the outcome. So asking yourself what am I afraid of?
Mm.
What am I afraid of right now? And what is my responsibility? And what do I need to just release?
Mhm.
Because, what I found over and over with life and hard things is we rehearse all of the things that we've done wrong or our struggles and our pain. So, whatever we keep rehearsing, we can't, there's no release. So, instead of rehearsing all of it, I release it, and it's a choice. And you have to keep putting your mind to that and just knowing it's not going to click at first. But, if we keep saying, what am I afraid of? What do I need to let go of? What is my responsibility? What do I need to chill out about? You know?
Yes, I think those are such powerful questions. I think especially one that you mentioned that stands out that just as a standalone, when we make decisions out of fear,
Mhm.
that never goes well for me. I don't know about you, but if I'm trying to make a decision based on fear, it's always going to go sideways.
Always.
And so I think that's a profound question to sit with and to take the moment, have the breathing room and allow yourself to sit with it without guilt or shame, but to just say, what am I afraid of here?
Mhm.
What's the fear? To acknowledge it
Yeah.
and know that that's not the place from which to make your decisions, I think is a game changer
Yeah, absolutely.
for sure. Awesome. Well, is there anything we didn't touch on, because girl, there's so much. There's so much. Everybody's going to get the book. It's so good. But is there anything just in particular on your heart right now that you'd like to be sure to share today?
Yeah, friend, like my new friend, you're doing so much better than you think. Like you're juggling. So I'll say this to all everybody who's listening. We are doing so much better than we think. We
Mm,
are so hard on ourselves. You are incredible and you're managing a lot. Like celebrate and be nice to yourself
mm.
because you're not dropping the ball. Like, there's just a lot of balls.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going on that we have to juggle. But, like, if we could just relax and kinda give ourselves more credit to know that we're gonna get on the other side of something one way or the other, and
Hmm.
to, just maybe become, like, an advocate for ourselves, we've gotta stop working against ourselves, and so, I think that that's on my heart more than anything is that women are so hard on themselves, and, like, we gotta stop that.
Hmm.
Oh, we've got to set ourselves up for success and peace and grace.
Yeah.
The same grace that we give to everybody else.
Yes.
Extend it, like, look at the girl in the mirror and say, "Man, you're doing pretty good." You
Yeah.
know? Like, life's messy, but you're good. You're doing good.
Yeah. I love that in this book, you do say, just the fact that you're still trying
Mhm.
already means you're doing better than you think you are.
Yes.
Because you're still here and doing the thing. And we have similar hearts for permission slips, girl. Like, I've literally got a free PDF people can grab of printable permission slips to write them out to yourself because,
Yeah.
it's one thing to say, like, I have permission to whatever it is we don't think we have permission for. But then to see it in writing and like,
It's different,
it
yeah.
just it makes a little bit of a difference, but I know that's something that you have a heart for, like, you are allowed to have love and grace and compassion for yourself.
Yes. Like, it's about dang time, right?
Right. Yeah, I agree. This is also good. I like to get kind of practical towards, our ladies can walk away with things. I think we've already given some of that. But do you personally have any tools or any strategies that you have found to be most helpful when you are managing your time and allowing for breathing room in your life?
Oh, yeah. Like, I love time blocking.
Mm,
That's, like, one of my favorite things that's so nerdy, right?
I love it. I love it.
But, like, I also really love to make appointments because if I write it down on the calendar and, like, my mentor taught me this. She's like, "Write down on your calendar, make an appointment with yourself and keep it."
Yes.
Because if you tell people, "I've got an appointment, like, I am off duty for this time,"
Hmm.
then you will guard that time and start building in breathing room into your schedule naturally, knowing that you didn't like, it's not something we have to earn, it's something we have to just put into our schedules because we need it.
Yes. I love it. Girl, you're preaching my sermon. That's so good. That's it.
I love it.
Well, is there a book right now or just in general that is top of your list or a podcast that you would like to recommend to our ladies?
Ooh, I am like I kinda do the, like, read a bunch of different things, but I've been reading the Let Them.
Yeah.
So, because I think that that kinda ties into some of the things, like with releasing our control, so that's been really good.
Mhm.
So I've enjoyed that book. Yeah, and some of my like the nerdy in me loves Simon Sinek. He's one of the things like he really talks about relationships and our social media and phones, and so he's really been speaking some good things to me about putting my phone up.
Mhm.
So highly recommend his stuff. Yeah,
Awesome. And like he's been around a good while, but it's a more recent find for me and I'm
yeah, he's so good.
yeah, so good. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up because I feel like this is something we could talk about all day.
Yeah.
But where can people find you, connect with you if they haven't already?
Yes. Okay. You can find me at jenniferreneewatson.com. You can also find me on Facebook at Jennifer Renee Writer. But if you put in my full name, that's very, very long, you can find me there. I love connecting with people on social media. And then also, Instagram is just at Jennifer Watson. Just that's it. So I would love to connect with people there. And yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Of course. All the links are going to be in the show notes today. We'll have it go get the books. Her newest book, What If You're Doing Better Than You Think? Everybody needs it because we all need this loving, gracious, compassionate reminder that we are already loved more than we realize. And life is messy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that we can't keep going, keep trying.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job, ladies. You're doing great. Jennifer,
Awesome.
thank you. I hope we can connect again. And I'm so grateful for you sharing your heart today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. You've been delightful. I've enjoyed it.
Everybody go click the links and we'll see you here next time.